Hello and welcome to another AutoCAD 2007 CAD clip talking about 3D stuff. And this is one of the few times in order of normality we are going to fly before we walk or run. And we're talking about is the new Fly tool here in AutoCAD 2007. And it's really a two-handed operation. You're going to use your mouse to are going to be your vision, your line of vision, and then your keyboard is actually the travel point. And I should point out in the beginning that walk and fly, which we're going to see here on our dashboard, fly and walk, which are right under here on our navigation, are very much the same, and there's some settings we're going to look at. The difference being, the main difference is that when you use the walk tool, you cannot, you're fixed to a Z elevation. So as you move around, your eye level vertically doesn't change, whereas with fly you can look up and look down and therefore skip off the ground more or less and go up into the air and then back down again. With the walk tool you are fixed at a certain elevation as you walk around, but the operation and the settings are very much the same. So just before we get started, let's have a look in here at our walk and fly settings, and this is kind of a trial and error. First of all, we have settings, display instruction window. You're going to see a new palette show up when you go into the walk and fly, and there's like a picture-in-picture. It looks like a lot of the different video games you play where you can move around and see a picture-in-picture of where you are with your objects. So settings, display instruction window once per session, because there will be an instructional window that shows you how to use your keyboard. Display position locator window, which will display it or not, which we'll see, the bird's eye. And then current drawing settings, walk, fly, step size, and steps per second. Okay, so I've set this to be 50 in this particular drawing, and it depends on how big your drawing is in the unit. So this is going to be a trial and error, but this is where it is. So I can hit OK on that, and that was again in my under my navigation, walk and fly settings. The other thing is I'm noticing about these flyouts on these toolbars is if you pick the one on the top, it doesn't execute it. You have to actually let go of it to activate it, which is strange. When I go in here, if I use the walk tool, it'll start the walk tool, etc. Okay, but once the walk tool is on the top, by clicking on it, really does nothing. At least that time it did. But the thing is, I'm finding that it's just a bit of a finicky thing where I've found that if the button's on the top, you still have to sometimes go down here and hit this button. Now, the first thing it says is walk and fly are only available when you're working in a view that is perspective. So you need to turn perspective off and on. So I'm just going to hit cancel on that and hit escape. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here and turn on my conceptual view, and then I'm just going to position myself. And a lot of times the best thing to do with your walk and fly is at least get yourself in a starting position by using your normal shift middle mouse button to swivel and then zoom in and zoom out to a point where you kind of want to start your fly or your walk. So tip number one is really position yourself after you've done your settings. Now what happens is I'm going to go in here and I'm going to turn my perspective mode on so it won't ask me that again. And now I'm just going to go in here and I'm going to start my fly. I'm going to let go on the fly tool. Right away we're going to see a new palette show up, and it's going to give me a little picture-in-picture, which I can see over here, and this is me. Now you can take this and you can move this if you want. I don't recommend doing it that way. So what I'm going to do now is you're going to see that you have a new cursor here, and that is what you do is when you press on that and hold, it moves your vision, okay, your eyesight, and you're going to see there's a green X which always stays in the middle to kind of give you an idea of where you're going. And it does take a bit of getting used to doing this. And then you're going to take your other hand and you're going to use your keyboard. So using your keyboard arrow keys, you can go in, you can go to the right, you can reverse, and you can go to the left. Okay, now watch what happens. I'm going to hold my arrow key, my up button, and then I can use my fly and I can fly in. You can see I'm coming down, and of course the settings that show you the steps per inch, etc., are all going to help you. And then so with flying, again, you can come in, you can zoom right over top of the building, and then you can get into close. It changes your display. Okay, and then you can then look up. Okay, and you can also drag as you go. At any point in here, you can just wheel in and wheel out with your mouse. Okay, just wheeling in and wheeling out. And then if you take your mouse and drag and let go with just your finger, regular mouse button, you can actually kind of pan around. Okay, and then sometimes you have to reposition yourself, and then again you can use your arrow key and you can continue that fly through and kind of skim up over top of these buildings, or you can go down as you please. Now eventually you'll see over here that you're kind of at the end of the line now, and the thing that I've noticed is that if you try to fly and turn yourself around, it'll take forever. So the key here is sometimes I say is zoom out, or what you can do is to turn around, just take your mouse and drag like you're panning. Okay, notice over here you're turning around. I find to turn around you basically have to kind of stop and use your mouse to turn around. Okay, now that you've turned around, you can maybe wheel your mouse back again, and it will always go by the angle at which you're going. So if you want to go up higher, you can wheel in. So I'm just wheeling right now, and you can see what's going on over here. Wheeling out, basically turning around and resetting for my fly through. Okay, so here we go again. I'm going to use my arrow key, and I'm going to hold it in, and then now I can fly by. Maybe go down, try to work my way around here. Notice what happens when you get too close. It just kind of goes through, and there's a transparency effect. Okay, flying up, and then you can start move your mouse above, and you'll start to go up higher, etc., etc. Now you've gone kind of beyond the scope of where your objects are. Again, I'm going to use my mouse button, click just a regular mouse button. Left mouse button, and then I get myself in position. Okay, zoom back a bit. Maybe you want to drag down to get your line of sight back up again. Okay, see how I'm doing that? I'm going down like this, and then I'm wheeling. Okay, and then you can also use your arrow keys. Now I'm using my arrow keys, okay, to go in and out. Okay, and then remember again, using a mouse button over here. Okay, again, you can take that and just move that if you want right on screen. Okay, and then sometimes you have to just kind of, if things get all botched up, you just hit an enter and it bumps you out and it leaves you in that view. Now I can use my normal pan command and my shift middle mouse button, maybe get myself in position, because it's going to take a bit of practice. Okay, and it really depends on the shape. The flyby is much better for the flying, for actually going through a path. To go through and turn around and come all the way back, I'm finding is a little bit tricky to do, but maybe over some practice I'll learn how to do that. So here we go into here again, fly. Now watch, I'm going to click on here and it won't start the command, but if I click on here and I go down and let go on here, now it starts my fly command. And now maybe I'll change my settings. Let's go back to here and change my fly settings. Let's make it 100 units. Okay, and let's see if how that makes a difference. Okay, I'm going to go to my fly, and now I'm going to use my arrow key and my mouse. And again, just dragging your mouse doesn't do anything. You've got to press the mouse button. So now you can see it's going a little bit quicker. Skim by, up and over. And then you might have to stop and kind of go like this if you want. Stop, use your mouse, regular mouse button, okay, and zoom in and do your flyby. Then you can back it up by just using your back arrow key, okay, and then going down, and then you can fly up, and then maybe we want to use our right mouse button and go over here and maybe back up a little bit. As we please. Sometimes it's easier to, again, to get yourself in position beforehand. So using your arrow keys, okay, while in here, to go back and forth, and your regular left mouse button to use your eyesight, It's a two-handed operation, and then in the middle of walking and flying, you can actually, mouse around with the regular mouse button and wheel in and wheel out. You can't use your shift middle mouse button when you're in a fly mode. Okay, so then sometimes you have to do a bit of readjusting by using your regular mouse button and your wheel, and then off we go again with our arrow key and our eyesight. Fly over here, maybe have a look at this green building, maybe try to work my way around here. Not too bad. Okay, then you get yourself into some trouble. You can kind of wheel out or back out using your arrow key. So definitely takes a little bit of practice. So you can combine this with the motion picture tools that we've covered as well in trying to get all your different little videos, and we're going to see that once we're in this mode, we can then go and hit the record button and stuff over here. We're going to talk about that in an upcoming lesson. So hopefully that helped you out with your new AutoCAD Fly tools in version 2007.